What are you longing for? What world would you love to live in? And how would you like to be different than you are right now? I think longing, as you probably know after I've been talking about it for a while, I think longing is such a portal, such a beautiful portal to walk through back into the divine that we already are. And I also know that longing can be challenging because we don't really know what to do with it. And I also know from personal experience that many times what we long for, either it never shows up in our 3D experience or in our inner experience as a manifestation or a fulfillment of that, or it does, and then it goes away. That's one that I had to deal with many years ago. And to be honest with you, it really took me a lot of inner work to get over that fear, to have such an unbelievably heavenly opening into the divine and then have it go away. It was really unbearable. So I understand that many people would rather shy away from going there again. And it could be the same in, being in a relationship. You may have been deeply, deeply hurt, and you're just not going to go there again. You opened up and then down the drain at some point. And I have been there also. And they're not fun. They really are not. And it does make me sad in a way that we have to go through that, because when there's such a purity in the longing, it would feel more satisfying to have it fulfilled as a real experience of who we are and not have it come and go. The going is not fun. So if you are shying away from longing, you're not the only one. I actually had a lovely conversation with a dear friend yesterday, and there was an absolute like, I do not want to go there again. It's not so much the longing, but it's the pain when it was not fulfilled or didn't happen or went away. It's the pain. And that's also what I went through for a long time after I had my big, big opening back in Denmark in the late 80s. I just wanted to, I don't want to have anything to do with the spirit, with that opening to love like that. I couldn't let go of the spirituality of the seeking, because that had taken over my life at that point. But there was a real strong protective layer around me to, I'll go this far, but I'm not going to go all the way in. And what a shame it really is for all those of us who are in that situation, because we will never really feel that fulfillment that lives in there, right? You're like, I don't want to go there, but it's there, right? It's there. It's not going to go away. I had to realize that too. It's not going to go away. And you know why? Because it's who I am. I can't go away. I am. The longing is the calling of my own beingness, my own soul. So why did it go away? It didn't go away, but it seemed like it went away because the conditioning, the suggestions from, let's call it the matrix, right? From the illusion, the suggestions were very, very loud and very persistent. And many times they won. We didn't have enough oomph. We didn't have enough ground in our true being to be able to stay there and say, be gone. I'm not interested in you anymore. So in my own case, that was, of course, the same thing. the outer hypnotic suggestions, as Joe Goldsmith calls them, they got the best of me, at least while I was in that hell realm after I had that opening. It was 3 months later. I was full bliss for 3 months, and then it went totally downhill. Um, and I just didn't know, I didn't really know what had happened, but I could see at hindsight that there were so many beliefs and conditionings still living in me, in my body, in my being, in the energy field that I didn't know about. And that is where I went instead of staying here. Nothing wrong with that. I think everybody has to go through that. But I want to say, please don't give up. Please don't give up. It is tedious. It is challenging to move through all these layers. But as we do, it gets lighter. It gets less dense. And the less dense it gets, the more of my energy, your energy, is available to go back to, we can call it longing, or just there's a sweetness in there that is who we are, right? So it can't go away, but we can turn away from it back to the conditioning of the mind and the body. And then we think that it went away. That is certainly what I thought. I thought God had left me. I thought, oh no, I did something wrong. I'm bad. All these layers that we all carry with us and that we identify with and that we feed and believe is who we are. But the work is to just be present with it, learn to be present in the experience of it instead of rejecting it or trying to get rid of it. That's how I have softened my edges over the years and my layers and dissolved many of them. I'm not saying they're all gone. I can still feel there are the tendencies, the tendency to be pulled out. But this veil feels like it's just so thin now. And I may be kidding myself, but compared to how it used to be, that I don't know how to explain it. The image I've been getting lately is like there's this veil and it's kind of invisible, but when we move into it, and then it kind of sticks to us, to our senses, and then we experience life through this veil as if this is life. And then the work that we need to do is to start unhooking from this. And that we can only do when we become aware that we are stuck in something that's not true, or that we are done with, we don't want to experience it anymore. That's when we start with, therapy or healing or whatever modality we use. And then we get unstuck a little more, and then we can see more clearly. So what I saw recently was that it just feels like I can just separate myself from the whole thing, and I can just see it for what it is. Not all the time, but it's then when I have these moments where it's just, meditation, it's just so obvious. It's like, this, what is this? And there's such a feeling of not interested. It's just like, I'm not interested anymore. I'm done with that chapter in my life. And then I can say, well, what am I interested in? And what am I interested in is what I'm longing for, is what I'm feeling in my heart. And that would be a whole different way of being. It would be a different world, a different way that I interact with people and with myself. And then just stay with that sweet longing. It will pull us back in to our true beingness. It can't be any other way because it's already who we are. So as we let go of this veil of illusion, it's almost like we just pop right back, and then we can see it. It's not like we don't really have to do anything to be it or to get there, because we already are there, but we don't know that when we are so stuck in that veil. So that's kind of my little sharing today. And I also want to just offer again that tomorrow, Tuesday, July the 2nd, I'm offering my first little monthly gathering online, where we are going to spend time to explore this longing and find out how we can abide there more, how we can give ourselves more to that, and how we can let go more of who we are not. It's a process, and it's really nice to do it together with others, because then we realize that we are so the same, all of us. You know, we have all been stuck in the same veil of illusion. It's very similar. It has all these underlying horrible feelings and beliefs and limitations. And I know I'm laughing a little about it now, because the more I see it, it's like, how did we ever get into that thing? And I don't have the answer for that. There's probably a lot of people who talk about that, and that's not necessarily my expertise, at least not today. And maybe in my next meditation, it's going to be all clear. But the beauty is that the more I stay here, and you know, it can be very simple things. It's just like, oh yeah, I just long to, you know, feel peace and just stay with that sweetness. I'm basically right there. But then if these strings start wanting to pull me away again, then I lose that connection that's already here. And then I start getting lost in there. And that's why, you know, unhooking from it is very much part of the path. And then at some point, we can choose and say, no, I don't want to touch you anymore. I don't want to engage anymore. But that comes a little later, once we have unhooked enough that we're not doing the spiritual bypass, which is very important, because then we're just still stuck in it, and we're kind of believing we're not stuck in it when we are. Once you're out of it, it's just a very different experience. And I wish that for all of us. And I do believe that energetically there are some big shifts happening right now. You may feel them also, that suddenly this is more available to our awareness, because this is not as strong anymore. I do feel that this illusion is collapsing, and hallelujah, because then we can really start being who we are and explore what that really is, what that really means. And we'll do some of all of that in these little monthly gatherings. So if you feel moved to join, I will put the link in the description that you can click on. You can read a little more about it, starting tomorrow morning, Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And yeah, the link to sign up and the link to donate will also be there. Okay, I'm wishing you a beautiful day, and I hope to see you tomorrow.